Mario franchise is the world's best video game-based franchise, Pokemon. And there's 718 as of now, and it's still growing and has been growing since 1996. So, as a Pokemon fan of many, many years, I am confident in saying that Dragon-type Pokemon are the most reliable out of all of the Pokemon types. And this is because of their amazing attack strategies and their defense strategies, and their overall stats are just overwhelming. So, their attack, all of the Dragon-type moves are 90% accurate, except for Dragon Rush, which is 75%, but that's still passing, so who cares? They have really wide move pools too, and they can learn TMs and HMs, which are like top moves that Pokemon don't actually have to learn them, which is good because some people say the new type of Pokemon, which is Fairy, it's like Dragon type's weakness or whatever, their attacks don't affect Fairy type Pokemon, but since they have wide move pools, they can learn like a water type move that can actually affect Fairy type Pokemon, and that helps them KO their opponent and they're gonna win. So, and plus Fairy type Pokemon are new, which means there aren't a lot of them, and the Fairy type moves are really hard to learn anyway, so a lot of Fairy type Pokemon don't even know their own type of move. And Dragon's worst enemy is another Dragon type Pokemon because they're 100% effective against other dragons, and if your own type is your own worst enemy, hey, you got something going for you. Top of the food chain. And another thing that people say about Dragon-type Pokemon is that they're really hard to train, but hard work pays off. If you have a bomb team of dragons and they can KO their opponents with their attacks, train hard, work hard, and you're gonna beat the Elite Four. Like, you will be top dog. And defensively, they're ranked number 3 overall in the defense category, but they have special abilities such as like rough skin, which means when their opponent attacks them, it inflicts damage on the opposer when they attack them because their skin is like scaly or whatever. And they have immune to ground moves. Some of them have levitate, and so a ground-type Pokemon like wouldn't affect them at all. And they're also immune to all starter-type Pokemon, which is fire, grass, electric, and water. And that's 4 knocked out. There are only like 13 types of Pokemon, so if you have 4 that you're not even like gonna get affected by, hey, that's good. So, and also they're the most elusive Pokemon out of all of the types, which means in battle, some of the times, the opposer's attacks don't even actually hit the Dragon-type Pokemon. It just misses, and another thing that helps with that, most of the Dragon-type Pokemon have Intimidate, which is, it hires their elusiveness during battles, which means most attacks don't even hit them, so yeah. Defensively, they're good. They can KO people, so if they're number 3, that doesn't even matter if they can knock out their opponent first move. And statistically, they're number 1 overall as well. And as you can see, when a Pokemon that's Dragon-type is fully evolved, their total stats are 610.26, with a Fairy only having 485.35 overall. And if that's their biggest opponent, like, that's not much of a match. And they have number 1 attack, special attack, and HP, which is hit points, meaning they can like get hit by their opponent and like it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So they have number 1 in all 3 of those categories, number 3 in defense. So that's really good. And a fun fact, there's one Dragon-type Pokemon, Dragonite, and all of his stats are really good except for speed. But in one of the episodes, Dragonite flies around the world in 16 hours, so that's pretty fast if you ask me. He's one of my favorites. And there are a couple Elite Four trainers that specialize in Dragon-type. And if you don't know what Elite Four is, Ash Ketchum is a kid and he wants to be a Pokemon Master. He has to battle all these people to get to the Elite Four, and when he beats the Elite Four, he's a Pokemon Master. And that's like basically like becoming president in real life. So, yeah, two notable trainers in the Elite Four that specialize in Dragon-type Pokemon are Claire and Lance, and they're two of the most difficult trainers to actually beat, so they got Dragon Team, and there are 9 legendary Pokemon that are at least half Dragon-type, and there are 4 Dragon-type Pokemon that aren't legendaries but have legendary type status. And legendary Pokemon are like exclusive and really rare, and they're up top in the Pokemon world. So overall, I mean, Pokemon, as far as it goes, Dragon-type is going to be your most reliable type to choose, and attack-wise, you're going to KO your opponent. Defensively, if you don't KO them in the first turn, you have the second turn because they have number 1 HP, and they have all their special abilities that make them immune or intimidate other Pokemon. And statistically, you're just going to win because they're ranked number 1 in the entire 718 Pokemon. So